Today is going to be a great day. I am Nikki G, your host. Welcome to the Lone Doctrine, the food for thought exploration station and your place in making today better than yesterday. We keep it short, simple, actionable, and practical. We've been exploring different aspects of self-care. Some of you may have heard of a lot of things we explored, but have you yet put it into action? Something you may or may not know is that everything I put on this podcast, I try personally, like an experiment, but I may not have all the answers. But I'm very dedicated to bettering myself, and in that, I know that every day is a chance to make life a little better. I do my best to stay open and realize that not everything will be my thing, but I won't know until I give it whatever it is it's worth. A lot of what I discuss, I make a priority in my self-care routine, and I hope this month you found some more food for thought that you can squeeze into your life. I encourage you to go back into the archives of the Lone Doctrine podcast and find what works for you. But to wrap up this month, I wanted to explore a couple more topics that you, our listeners, mentioned wanting to explore. The first one being modern habits. Most of us, if not all of us, have fallen victim to the late night binge watching, scrolling on social media, watching the latest YouTube, etc., etc., etc. Let me first share with you some studies I've found on how our modern society affects our mindset. The smartphone. Oh boy. How awesome is it to have the world at your fingertips? I am part of one of the last generations that would come home when the streetlights went on. And for the better part of my life, there wasn't the internet, there wasn't smartphones, there wasn't texting, but I did have a pager because it was super cool in the 90s. The point is, now, more than ever, we are so connected to everything at all times. Sometimes I experiment, and when I go to a place that has a lot of people, such as a grocery store, a mall, a theme park, I'll count the people on their phones and those who are not present in the moment. I'd say more often than not, 80% of people are diving deep into social media, reading emails, playing games, and not conversing at all. Truth be told, it makes me pretty sad. The smartphone use has become such a phenomenon that there are now studies based on how the use affects our well-being, and sadly, most of it isn't good. It's a common consensus that the use of smartphones is lowering our intelligence. Yikes. A 2015 Journal of Experimental Psychology study involving 166 subjects found that when people's phone beep or buzz while they're in the middle of a challenging task, their focus wavers and their work gets sloppy, whether they check the phone or not. Another 2015 study, which involved 41 iPhone users and appeared in the Journal of Computer Mediated Communications, showed that when people hear their phone ring but are unable to answer it, their blood pressure spikes, their pulse quickens, and their problem-solving skills decline. How much potential is being lost, especially within our youth, of being drowned out by our smartphones? A lot. In fact, my cousin is a crisis counselor, and he says there are so many studies resulting in smartphone use causing depression in teens and young adults. Now, it's not that studies are the end-all be-all, but my cousin says he's seeing it firsthand as he works with the at-risk youth. So let's go on the other side. Smartphones can do a lot of awesome things, right? I can work from anywhere because I have my phone. I can keep close contact with my family, which for me is really important, living so far away from most of my family. There's educational games. In fact, I use my phone for meditating, but that's just it. I have to monitor my use. I have to create a system that allows me to use my phone for my betterment and not get sucked into the endless abyss. I've done things like limit my time on social media, which now a lot of apps have a setting you can set to say, hey, it's been 10 minutes, time to put your phone down. Maybe not in those exact words, but something like that. And I'm very mindful to remove anything that is causing issues like comparing. I've had some trouble with this in the past, and I had to take the steps to block or do what I needed to not dive deep into my past and essentially relive a lot of pain. I've even taken the steps to not get notifications, except for email because of work. But I designated a time within my day to check all my social media platforms, but I do not get notifications at all. My phone constantly going off was so unproductive and so distracting. Whether it be our phones, the TV, our modern habits can take away from the precious moments that are right in front of us. So, how do we step away from the addiction and use our modern elements for our benefit rather than our detriment? Number 1, stop checking your phone in the car, especially while driving. It's not worth it. Use it for what you need, like directions, but otherwise it can wait. If it can't, then pull over. I can't express this enough, and living in LA, I can't tell you how terrifying it is driving on the freeway and seeing people on their phones, not even looking at where they were going. People now die in car accidents more from phone use than drunk driving. Put your phone down, please. Our lives depend on it. We aren't invincible, and all it takes is a split second to cause an accident, and sometimes a very tragic one. Number 2, try different activities than using your phone, or playing video games, or watching TV. Create a space in your home that is away from all the modern elements and try to do other things like taking up a hobby, reading, painting, drawing, playing a board game, playing cards, and anything that doesn't require being plugged in. Number 3, as I mentioned before, turn off your notifications. This has been the biggest change in stepping away and being more present. Number 4, choose an endpoint on the interwebs, whether it be social media, games, videos. Use the app to time you out or set a timer. There's really no reason to be on social media as long as most of us are, because it's a black hole. Number 5, try your best not to randomly check your phone. This can be a hard one because we're always wondering if someone texted, if someone commented on our latest post, etc. In fact, I have what I like to call phantom vibrations. I swear I feel my phone go off in my pocket and I check it, but nothing is there. Set your settings enough to trust that you'll hear a text, you'll hear a phone call, and important email when, if needed. Then do your best to break the cycle of checking and closing, and checking and closing, and pocket and out of pocket, and pocket and purse, and out of purse and out. End the cycle. When it comes to breaking modern habits, remember it takes time, and everyone is different. We have to take an honest look at our own personal habits and adjust accordingly. It's slowly changing your habit and realizing there's going to be a learning curve. But the most important step is the first step, and then keep stepping. One more aspect which will switch gears a bit, but we wanted to make sure to add it to the mix this month upon your request, and that is some relaxation techniques. This might be something to try as you step away from your modern constraints. Most of us live very tense lives, and finding ways to get a bit of release is so very important. And it's not just the occasional massage or getaway, but the small habits we can create within our everyday. The great thing about chillaxing is that there are endless ways, such as breathing or meditation, massages, taking a walk, finding a nice place outdoors to just sit and be in the moment, exercising, taking a day off, disconnecting from all electronics, even naps. You may already do some or all these things, and again, caring for yourself is so important. You're not just helping yourself, but you're also helping everyone around you. Here's something you may or may not have heard of thanks to one of our awesome listeners: progressive muscle relaxation, otherwise called PMR, which became an anxiety reduction technique in the 1930s and is still used today to give structure to releasing the tension in your body and also giving your mind something to do when life feels overwhelming. Here's a rundown of the process, and when you're in a safe place, give it a try with this guide. All right, I'm going to take you through a mini session of progressive muscle relaxation, and you can try the same method and just expand the time. So first, I want you to find a quiet place free from distractions. Lie on the floor or recline in a chair, loosen any tight clothing, and remove your glasses or your contacts. Now rest your hands in your lap or on the arms of the chair. Take a few slow, even breaths. Now, focus your attention on the following areas, being careful to leave the rest of your body relaxed. Let's first start with the forehead. Squeeze the muscles in your forehead, holding for 15 seconds. Feel the muscles becoming tighter and tenser. Then, slowly release the tension in your forehead while counting to 20 seconds. Then, slowly release the tension in your forehead while counting to 10 seconds. Notice the difference in how your muscles feel and the sensation of relaxation. Continue to release the tension in the forehead until it feels completely relaxed. Then move to your jaw. Tense the muscles in your jaw, holding for 10 seconds. Then, release the tension slowly while counting to 10. Notice the feeling of relaxation and continue to breathe slowly and evenly. Next, your neck and your shoulders. Increase tension in your neck and shoulders by raising your shoulders up towards your ears and hold for 10 seconds. Slowly release the tension as you count for 10 seconds and notice the tension melting away. Then continue in your arms and hands. Slowly draw both hands into fists. Pull your fists into your chest and hold for 10 seconds. Squeeze as tight as you can. Then, slowly release while you count to 10. Notice the feeling of relaxation. Then move to your buttocks. Slowly increase the tension in your buttocks for 10 seconds. Then slowly release the tension over another 10 seconds. Notice the tension melting away and continue to breathe slowly and evenly. Then move to your legs. Slowly increase the tension in your calves and in your thighs. Squeeze the muscles as hard as you can. Then gently release the tension for 10 seconds. Notice the tension melting away and the feeling of relaxation that is left. And last but not least, your feet. Slowly increase the tension in your feet and toes. Tighten the muscles as much as you can. Then, slowly release the tension and count for 10 seconds. Notice all the tension melting away and continue to breathe slowly and evenly. Enjoy the feeling of relaxation sweeping through your body and continue to breathe slowly and evenly. This technique is also very similar to visualization meditation. If you tune back, we took a deeper look into meditating and all the different ways. Sometimes our minds wander so much and are always on the go with thoughts that having a step-by-step method is very helpful for a lot of people. So I invite you to rewind and use this little piece of the podcast to practice PMR. Remember, there are multiple elements within one technique. Like, for example, PMR has a foundation of breathing. So it may further the process also by working on what could be called diaphragm breathing, or in other words, deep breathing. Also note that when you're working with your body, it's always good, if you have a special health need, to consult your doctor. You'd be surprised just how much these type of exercises affect our bodies and health. And if you have special needs with breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, some methods may not be best for you. But there are ones that can be very beneficial and will fit with your personal needs. With most techniques such as PMR, consistency is key. It's something you want to find a place in your day to do every day, even when you're feeling good and not necessarily stressed or filled with anxiety. It may feel like it's not doing much at first, but methods like PMR are meant to consistently help you in a healthier state. And then when anxiety and stress and all the harder parts of life hit you, you're more able to approach them and get through them. Life isn't a quick fix. It takes what I like to call completing the circle and finding what daily regimen will keep you at your best self. Now, keep in mind, as we explored many different ways of self-care, that those ways can change and should. As time moves forward, we also, hopefully, grow and things will need to be adjusted. I know that sometimes it seems overwhelming, especially when you're dealing with an illness or a mental challenge, but that is the very reason why we must put our well-being, our self-care routine at the forefront of our lives. We must flip the script and remember that self-care isn't selfish. It's the very aspect which makes ourselves and everything around us better. To close this month, I'll leave you with this quote. As you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands, one for helping yourself and the other for helping others. The Lone Doctrine is your exploration station, a place to explore a wide spectrum of life's food for thought so you can live this one and only life in the best of ways. Thank you for tuning in. We hope to see you next time. And if you know of anyone who could benefit from this podcast, we would love for you to share. Together, we make a difference. And until next time, keep fighting the good fight.